Indian knowledge system. That is absolutely a very time-relevant topic, and I am very much proud to be a member of this particular program, or at least to participate. As you all know, our G20 summit is going on, and this particular 2023 G20 summit, as an Indian, this is a proud moment for all of us as an Indian, because the whole world is keenly observing what's happening or what's going on here in our country. And as you all know, the theme of this 2023 G20 summit is also Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam is a Sanskrit term which terms like one earth, one family, and one future. So with this starts the perspective of Indian knowledge system. Basically, there are concepts regarding civil and architecture, which is or what to say, even ourselves, we people think like, or this construction basically comes from Romans, or this particular what to say, that all credits we basically given to this Roman or this Egyptian concept is like all the construction or building construction related everything, that credits and that even this priority given to those Roman architects who initially started what exactly a building construction is. But I would like to introduce is like that we cannot actually completely use or hand over all the credits to that Roman. Maybe the initial or very ancient stories are telling so, even though there are a few particular landmarks or trademarks which are Indian or our ancestors have been also been given as a footprint regarding this Indian knowledge system, that is basically regarding everything basically, and even exclusively if we are telling about this construction and related or building related terms. Let's move on to the topic. What are the perspectives of Arthashastra on town planning? You may have heard about town planning. Town planning in the sense, what are we enjoying as a particular citizen? Basically, what are all the facilities in and around us, and what facilities they have planned for us. They live through a civil engineer, what our governing system has been arranged for the convenience of a citizen who's living in this particular country. That is what we have meant. So, what are all the perspectives basically where this town planning basically started from Arthashastra? That is what we are starting with. This is the introduction what I want to give you. That is, Arthashastra is an ancient Indian text that is attributed to Kautilya, also known as Chanakya, as I have heard. It provides insight into various aspects of governance, administration, that include our town planning. Okay. Now, the primary focus of Arthashastra is on statecraft and politics. Statecraft, in the sense, what I have already said is like, what are all the convenience or what are all the particular facilities that we are providing, that too with this particular politics, and it does contain perspectives on urban planning and management. Now, the historical reference terms like understanding how ancient Indian societies approached the organization and development of urban centers. This is how this Arthashastra is connected into the town planning nowadays. This basic or ancient concept can be more elaborated as some of the key perspectives on town planning are outlined in the Arthashastra as the layout and organization of cities. How the cities are basically designed, what are all the defensive structures they are given in particular cities. Defensive in the sense, anytime or anyhow we can expect some kind of external attacks, even in natural amenities or anything like that, and how the defensive measures we are taking. Now about water management, marketplace and trade, of course, we cannot even think about such things nowadays, particularly nowadays, and sanitation and public health, how for importance they are giving. city administration, how the administration are planned and how it is going on, land use planning, how they are planning, now the public amenities and the urban expansion, about the plannings of urban expansion and taxation and revenue collection. These are all the basic perspectives or some of the key perspectives of Arthashastra or town planning. Now into the moving on to bit more depth on this knowledge system in civil and architecture, we should, or it is a mandatory term which is to be included, is Vastu Shastra. This is how the buildings are planned, and this Vastu Shastra, about Vastu Shastra, it is referred as the science of architecture, the science of construction. Either the science of architecture or as the science of construction, this Vastu Shastra is termed about. Now, the ancient Indian system of architectural design and planning is what included in Vastu Shastra. It has ancient roots, principles found in ancient Indian texts such as Veda, Purana, Mansara. It's all included, and this is how this we nowadays came into knowledge about this Vastu Shastra. It developed as an essential part of Hindu architecture and temple construction. This is why I have already mentioned, like, these construction and building technologies are not just one single authority. We cannot authorize Roman construction technologies as the previous or ancient technique where the building construction have started. Here in India also, the marks are there, the few prints are there as they have, our ancients have left beautifully for us. Only thing is we have to go deep into that. We have to observe what they have left for us and how it has been all been beautifully and well organized and planned on those days. So the fundamental principles of Vastu Shastra. What are all the fundamental principles of Vastu Shastra? About telling into that, first we have to mention the 5 elements. We would say the Panchabhutas. The Panchabhutas means Agasham, Bhumi, Vayu, Agni. Now, the 5 Panchabhutas or 5 elements, which can be said as concept of balancing the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space, also known as Panchabhutas. And also, next to the 5 elements, firstly, the we have considered is this 5 elements as the goal or basic, the route in which the nature is going around. That is how we have considered this Panchabhutas. And this directional, next to the 5 elements, what we have considered in Vastu Shastra is the directional influence. It emphasizes the significance of cardinal directions. Directions in the sense north, south, east, and west. And their impact on building design is a very basic and much more very, very effective and important thing to be considered during this Vastu Shastra. Now, the Vastu Purusha Mandala, that is, we basically believe that Vastu Purusha, a mythical being basically, but he is believed to be reside in the plot of a land. The design of a building should respect the Vastu Purusha Mandala grid. This is how basic Vastu Shastra starts with. And so basically Vastu Shastra starts with the 5 elements, and then the 5 elements or Panchabhutas move on to the direction, importance of that, considering the directions north, south, west, and east, and again the grid or the particular direction where which the Vastu Purusha is lying. This is a concept basically, but this concept is very relevant and very important that we can understand it in our coming slides. The important directions. Each cardinal direction is associated with specific qualities and elements. Now, Earth is the rising sun and knowledge. What we do towards the Earth, we believe this is there the sun rises, and also there with the knowledge. About South, we believe fire and energy. Similarly, directions have their own concepts and meaning which we believe in. Now, about Vastu principles recommend aligning rooms and functions with the auspicious directions based on their intended use. Let us see how this planning of Vastu is done based on the directions. So, when considering the auspicious directions, also the doshas or the negatives also should be considered, right? If there is a positive, there is definitely there will be a negative also. So how this Vastu doshas are to be considered? That is what we are now discussing. That is Vastu doshas basically about the architectural flows or imbalance that can bring negative energy and disruptions. We believe that if we are considering negative energy and disruptions are inside our building or in and around us, that is negatively affecting us, that may be due to the Vastu doshas. We believe so, or we may have heard about it. This is how it works. A few examples include a placement of toilet or kitchen in unfavorable direction, and irregularly shaped floors, improper alignment. These are all few examples which mention the Vastu doshas basically. Now, moving on to much more deeper Vastu Shastra, I would like to introduce you about the 8 limbs of Vastu. Fundamental aspects of Vastu Shastra or Vastu Purusha Mandala associated with the 8 limbs of Vastu. 8 limbs represents the basic principles that govern the design and layout of a building. The basic principles that govern the design and layout of a building include one, first of all, the Rajapada. Rajapada means we can also send it as king seat. The next one is Agnipada. Agnipada means the fire seat. And the third one is Ishana Pada, that is goat's seat, considered as goat's seat. And the fourth one is Nairudi Pada, that is demon's seat. We basically consider Nairudi Pada as demon's seat, and Vayu Pada, that is air seat, and Jala Pada, which is water seat, and Nirudi Pada, that is sleeping seat, and finally Vayu Pada, which is considered as a storage seat. These are the 8 limbs. So, are you now thinking about what these 8 limbs are basically meant about? Okay, I will just mention that term for you. What is this particular Rajapada or King's Seat mean about? Basically, Rajapada, that is the central area of a building which is considered as the King's Seat or the most important space. It should be kept open and free from obstructions because we believe this particular area is considered to be king's seat. So, or the basic concept, or imaginarily, this concept or this particular portion should be kept always free and open from obstructions. This area often this area should often serve as the courtyard or the central gathering space in traditional Indian homes. The second one is Agnipada, that is considered as the fire seat. The southeast corner of the building is associated with the fire element and it is considered an auspicious location for the kitchen. The kitchen should be located here to harness the energy of fire and cooking. So Agnipada is second most important place or the limb among the 8 limbs, the second most important thing to be considered that is considered in the southeast corner. Now the third one is Ishana Pada, which is also said as goat's seat. The northeast corner of a building is known as goat seat or the sacred space. It is considered the most favorable direction for placing a place of worship or a meditation room or altar. Altara, that is what we say. So the meditation area or auspicious place of a building is considered in its northeast corner, which is also said as Ishana Pada in Vastu Shastra. The fourth one is Nairudi Pada, which is said as a demon's seat. Comparatively inauspicious or important rooms or activities are given only in inauspiciously important rooms or activities are provided in this demon's seat, which is considered of in the southwest corner of a building. Southwest corner of a building. This area is often used for storage or less frequently used spaces only. These are all basic concepts, but still it works because all these years, among what is it? Once you start believing, you cannot build a home without considering Vastu Shastra. That is not just a marketing term or marketing words I am using here. You may all know about it. If you are interested, you may could have find out more even before this class itself. You may have gone through the books at least to read and to understand what this Vastu Shastra is. So that is how important it is. Next one is Vayupada or air sea. The northwest center of the building is associated with the air element. It is considered to be suitable for placing bedrooms or guest rooms in this air seat or Vayupada. Proper ventilation is important in this area to facilitate the flow of fresh air. So a particular staircase or where this air circulation is needed more can be placed during the northwest corner of a building. It is considered as the Vayupada in Vastu Shastra. Okay. Next one is Jalapada or water seat. The southwest corner of a building is associated with the water element. It is considered as the good location for bathrooms and water related facilities. Proper drainage and plumbing are essential in this area. That Virudipada. It is also termed as sleeping seat. The southwest corner is associated with the rest and sleep. It is considered suitable for bedrooms to ensure a peaceful and restful sleep. So it is considered in the southwest corner of a building. You can check in your home whether the bedrooms are placed in the southwest corner. If not, you can try today at least, because whether if you are getting a sound sleep better than now what at this place. Now the area should be kept clutter free and conducive to relaxation. This is how Virudipada or sleeping set is connected, and Vayupada or a storage seat, that is northwest corner. It is northwest corner of a building where the storage and preserving resources is done, and it is considered appropriate for storage rooms, pantries, or places where grains and supplies are kept. So that is a best area to keep our resources, and organization and cleanliness is also very important in this northwest corner of this building. This is one summary what we have so far said. You can note it down if you would like to. That is this particular north direction where we keep the treasury, more open spaces, living room, bathroom, entrance, and also we avoid bedrooms in the north particular direction, whereas it is in the center where we consider open space. Since there is more light and air, it is ideal for Tulasi plant also. We might have noted, at least in some movies, that is one Tulasi Tara or particular Tulasi plant is kept in a particular pot in the proper center. It is aligned to the Paka center of a building. That is considered as divine in Hindu mythology, but it seems it is good since this particular air is circulating throughout inside our building. That is the scientific reason behind that. Now, during the south direction, bedroom and sleep with the head towards south is kept, and the staircase below can be given in the south direction. Provision room, storeroom, and cellar or well is avoided in the south direction. Coming to the west, dining room, overhead water tank, children's bedroom, study room, or a toilet or septic tank, etc. can be given. Here also, during the west direction, we avoid providing a cellar there. And in the east direction, bathrooms, more open spaces are provided. Guest room can be given in the east direction. Living room can be given, and also study room can be. It is most apt to give the study room in the west direction as well as in the east direction. Preferring west, or if not, we can provide it in the east direction. Now about northwest, the granary, cowshed, washing place, septic tank, guest bedroom, toilet, dining and study room, room for the elder, the child, and also parking is most preferably given in this northwest direction. Coming to the northeast, entrance for a temple or meditation. As we have already mentioned, northeast corner is given for meditation, then porch or balcony or veranda, underground water tank, our toilet. Here, basically, in this northeast portion, we avoid toilet or kitchen or septic tank because it is kept more auspicious and divine. We avoid keeping it there. During the southwest corner, we give the master bedroom. Usually, the master bedroom of a building can be given most aptly in the southwest direction, and the wardrobes, Southwest direction of a building is apt to give the dressing room heavy items, staircase block, or overhead water tank. Again, cash box. The main resource can be kept in the southwest direction for more auspicious or income if you believe. And avoid a cellar or well in this area. Finally, to the southeast direction, we are providing kitchen. We can provide kitchen facing east to cook. Electric meter can be given. Storage room for oil, ghee, etc. can be given. Also, if it is not possible to provide a center tulasi plant, it is ideal to provide it in the southeast also near to the kitchen. It also gives a very positive mind and a positive mood throughout inside our buildings. Hope that this area is also clear for you. So shall we move on to the town planning, or anybody want to stick on in this particular area? Do you have any doubts on this? Am I audible basically?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible, ma'am.
Okay. So shall we move on to town planning then? Okay, thank you. MES degree, thank you. Now, town planning. Town planning is also known as urban planning. It is the process of designing and organizing the physical, social, and economical aspects of a city and urban areas. It involves creating a framework for suitable and functional urban development. It ensuring the cities are efficient, aesthetically pleasing, and provide a high quality of life for their residents. This is what town planning introduction says about. Now, the aspects and principles of town planning. What are the aspects? Firstly, the land use planning. How this land use planning is done in a town planning system. That is, town planning begins with the allocation and zoning of land for various purposes, including residential, commercial, industrial, recreational, and the green spaces. Aims to create well-balanced and mixed urban environments that reduce commuting times and enhance accessibility. So next one in the town planning is infrastructure development. The provision of essential infrastructure such as road, public transportation, utilities, water, sewage, and communication networks is a crucial part of town planning. Well-planned infrastructure ensures the efficient movement of people and goods as well as screens to serve basic services also. Next point about town planning is about transportation planning. Definitely, we would also like to prefer a home with all these particular facilities. All these particular town planning facilities if available, we will be much more happier. And even though not just all, but even with the maximum number of facilities only, we will be preferring to live in, right? So the transportation planning include efficient transportation systems are essential for urban areas. Town planners consider the design and layout of roads, highways, public transit, and pedestrian and cycling infrastructure. Reducing traffic congestion and improving connectivity are common goals basically. Next point to be considered during the town planning is the housing and residential planning. Providing adequate, affordable, and safe housing is a priority in town planning, right? So planners focus on creating diverse housing options, including affordable housing, high density developments, and mixed income neighborhoods. Another principle or another aspect considered during town planning is public participation. Definitely, successful town participation or town planning often involves engaging with the community and incorporating public input into decision making processes. Public participation helps ensuring that planning efforts align with the needs and desires of local population. Basically, all the town planners would like to prefer like how this town planning can be effectively done based on many considerations from public also. They will be asking like how can we properly know. So you know what, many people, different people will be giving different ideas. Among that, which are to be considered can be considered, and this can give much more effective and creative result to the town planners. So public participation is also very important always. Then a long-term vision. We'll be thinking like even today itself, even if we say there are traffic congestions, how far or how long it has been built. All these roads and all these entities have been how the public buildings, this government offices, they are all built very years ago, right? Even but during that time, what about the population? Do you think it will be same as what it is now? No, right? So they have some visionary point or a very futuristic point of view of that particular town planners or particular civil engineers or the engineers that time or architects that time only given us this much facility at least nowadays, because it is all planned days before or years before, right? Even then they have considered the future population also. Effective town planning looks beyond short-term goals and take into account long-term sustainability and resilience. Cities plan for growth and adapt to changing demographic, economic, and environmental conditions. Aspects and principles of town planning now coming into considering the legal and regulatory frameworks. Town planning is supported by laws, regulations, and zoning ordinates that guide development. Planning authorities and government agencies play a crucial role in enforcing and updating these regulations. And continuous monitoring and evaluation is another particular aspect to be considered by town planning. Town planning is an ongoing process that requires monitoring and evaluation of implemented plans. There is no particular use of planning many things. It should be implemented and that also should be closely monitored, right? So town planning can be done in any aspects in papers, but when it comes to the practical, then it should be monitored also. Adjustments and revisions are made to meet address emerging challenges and opportunities. Definitely, few arrangements can be done or revisions can be done, but basic idea should not diverse that much. That is what we should take care about. Now moving on to another topic that is I have already mentioned, like the Roman construction technologies are not just the basic, but we Indians or our ancestors, Indian ancestors, are also given us few footprints regarding their efforts in building construction area. A very excellent example to say is nothing other than the temple constructions in India. Marvelous stone architecture for eternity they have given for us to refer and just to see or think back. So the temples built in India mostly are of stone structures and they propose the many unique features, right? They require spanning mathematics. You may be thinking like, what is that much special in a temple? Even when if we are going with any worst mood, if we are entering to a temple, it will be giving a very positive ambience, a very special and a very remarkable moments when it comes to a religious place, right? Not just temples, but also in any religious places we can experience this. But still, when it comes to about when it's come in the case of a temple, if there are a few things that they are considering. If even if you haven't considered these things now so far, you have to think about during your next visit to a temple. Basically, it includes or the design of a temple includes particular things like spanning mathematics, astronomy, building sites, supply chain management, rope cutting technology, optics, sound engineering. If you are hearing this for the first time, you may have astonished about things whether for a simply a temple are all these things considered. Yes, it has been done in the ancient times. Examples: Brihadishwara temple in Tanjavur or Sun temple in Konark or Kailas temple in Ellora. We will be discussing in detail about this particular examples at least. To tell about, there are thousands of examples, but still we will be considering at least a few during our presentation. Let's move on to the examples. Brihadishwara temple, a temple built 1,000 years back using granite, absolutely granite. So Vimana or a tower, 99 feet structure about a sanction is one of the tallest in South India. It has a plan of 16 by 16 squares, a design known as Padmagarbha Mandala in the Dravida architecture of southern India. Shikhara, a dog weighing 80 tons atop the tower. It is kept on the top of this Brihadishwara temple. Musical pillars in Mandapa requires carving the stones so that the sound frequency is properly established. These are all the particular specialities we would say firstly when talking about Brihadishwara temple. This is one particular picture I can show you, but this is not just containing in a picture, but you have to go in direct and you have to experience what is all there and the mandapa, that sound variations that you have to go and personally experience for getting more idea about this. Next one is Sun Temple. A Sun Temple which is built in 1215 using stone in the form of gigantic chariot. 24 elaborately curved stone beams symbolizing 24 pakshas in a year. Each of about 12 feet diameter is how the Sun Temple is built. 7 horses are in the front of symbolically pulling the chariot. This is how the particular idea or particular temple, if we are viewing like 7 horses in the front symbolically pulling a chariot, that is how the theme of a sun temple is. And the wheels of the temple are used to calculate time accurately in a minute. This is how the particular idea is, or the idea or theme which mentions about placement of main temple and the sun god aligned. First ray of the sun from coast would cross the Naga Mandir or dancing hall and would fall and reflect from the diamond placed at the crown of sun god. So Sun Temple, the name itself shows like it is about the crown of a sun god and it is about a dancing hall and would fall and reflect from the diamond placed at the crown. This is one particular picture. And the horses with wheels in the front carrying this chariot. This is the theme of this particular building. Now, after seeing the picture, you can remind that is wheels of the temple are sunidals and they used to calculate the time accurately to a minute. They can be used. Diamond placed at the crown of a sun god. That is how it is termed as. See how beautiful these constructions are. Moving on to another example, Kailasa Temple, largest rock cut structure. It is said as the, or it is believed as the largest rock cut structure, Kailasa Temple. It's built at Krishna one at the Rashtrakuta king. He was believed as a Rashtrakuta king and digging out a sloping basalt hill. Firstly, I can see you the image if you would like to. This is how. This is how the Kailasa temple in Ellora is basically. This is one particular picture. Again, I am telling like if you want to experience, you have to go there in person to experience it as a whole. But still only pictures that can be shown in such programs basically. So, sloping basalt hill with the two massive trenches, each of 90 meter long and joined with a connecting trench 53 meter in length. Vertical excavation or carvers started at the top of the original rock and excavated downwards. That is how the building has been done. And a three-story Vimana. Vimana is a tower with an octagonal dome and huge standing columns or Devaja or Stambas flanking the Mandapa entrance hall, which has 16 columns set in group of 4. This is how the Sun Temple structure is built upon. So, summarizing to a whole, temple architecture in India can be simply said as or simplified to some few terms such as components of a temple are as follows. That is basically there will be a garbhagriha and a mandapa and then a pragara, then adisthana and a stamba and Prastara, Shikhara, Stubi. These are the basic terms when it comes to the components of a temple architecture in India. I hope this picture or image is clear for you. We can wait for a few seconds if you would like to see this again. Mandapa is the entrance basically. There is you may have heard about Artha Mandapa and Center Mandapa. That is, entrance area is considered as Artha Mandapa, and one main courtyard or Mandapa will be also there in the temple. If you are thinking about, then Garbhagriha is the most important or most center portion of a particular temple. The Pragara, Adhisthana, Stamba, Prastara, Shikhara, Stubi. These are all the words mainly thinking about. And in the picture, it can be also you can see the Amalaka and the Kalasha. Kalasha is kept on the top of a particular temple, already mentioned as a tower area. The positive energy and concentrated to the top of this construction. That is how the Kalasha is named about. Artha Mandapa and the Mandapa. Artha Mandapa means the entrance area and the Mandapa about the center area. Garbhagriha, womb or epicenter of the temple where the presiding deity is to be placed. The positioning is established using Vastu Purusha Mandala, and this is what we have. We can tell about the Garbhagriha, and the next one is Mandapa. That is a pavilion structure in front of Garbhagriha, and the Mukha Mandapa, Artha Mandapa, and Maha Mandapa. The three different portions of Mandapa is termed like this. Pillared structures of varying numbers and sizes are termed. So, Mukha Mandapa is the entrance where receiving area is kept. Artha Mandapa is the second entrance area, and Maha Mandapa is which comes about the main area, main central hall, basically. Pragara, the main, what to say, cultural activities, maybe the programs, everything will be conducted in the Maha Mandapa, basically. Pragara, open space of circumambulation or pradakshina around the Garbhagriha, one of the more such structures designed depending on the overall size and span of the temple superstructure. Adhisthana, the base platform, and their superstructure rests. It has a raised platform, circle, or rest of the structure is established. Now the Stamba means set of pillars that support various structures, provide the basis of developing the elevation of the temple. Stamba is the basis of developing the elevation of the temple. Prastara is the entablator in the temple structure. Shikhara means the tower-like infrastructure built about the Garbhagriha, and this forms the main elevation to the temple. And the Stubi, it is the final to the structure. Yet another figure showing all these terms which we have mentioned as a points or particular components of a temple when it comes to Indian architecture. So the towards direction or direction of view will be towards the east always, and the Artha Mandapa or a entrance porch, then coming to the Mandapa, then Maha Mandapa or Great Hall, then the vestibule of the Dala, and Purishringa or subsidiary Shikhara is then considered. Kalasha is kept on the top, then Amalaga, Shikhara, Garbhagriha, which is the prior or center area, kept in the most inside portion of the temple. A pradakshina circumambulation is also shown with that green particular arrow marks. These are the transepts. Divisions are particularly shown with that red dotted lines. Jagati or platform and Adhisthana or a base platform is also shown in the particular figure. Hope it is visible for you all. So with this concept, let's see again the pictures. See all these particular terms, all these components are basically included in all the examples what we have mentioned, and even when you are going to ancient temples or temples, old temples, we can clearly see all these concepts will be there, definitely considered also. See, the mandapa and the kalasha, everything is clearly visible also. See, Kailasa temple, which was actually excavated out. That was two massive trenches with a 90-meter long joined with the connecting 53-meter in length. It was excavated. Still, all these components have been clearly managed to include somehow. Isn't it? How brilliant construction it is, basically. I hope you can clearly see this. So, this is what plan view. This is how the Vimana is there, and the Gobura or entrance, how it starts from, and a smaller shrine is there, a 1,000-pillar hall chowdhury. This is a basic plan of Tiruvalluvar. Our architecture in Hindus temple at Tiruvalluvar is shown in this particular plan. No brilliant constructions, right? Now coming into the next term, iconography. We cannot term this particular term or what it can give is a great more enthusiastic appearance on like or ideas about how this visual symbols and icons are related to this architecture or things. Visual symbols and icons, often with the concept of art and culture, is mentioned here in this iconography. It is the study and interpretation of visual symbols and icons. It involves analyzing and understanding the meaning and significance of images, symbols, and representations, especially within religious, cultural, or historical contexts. Iconography can encompass various forms of visual communication, including paintings, sculptures, architecture, and even modern media like advertisements and logos. The art of idol making requires good understanding of relative proportions of different parts of the image. The Vastu text provide intricate designs of the proportions for both male and female image. Vastu text basically provide details on these proportions itself. So the art of idol making requires good understanding of relative proportions in different parts of the image. A few images of iconography, how worship is inverted or how network. Even nowadays itself, this iconography is giving a much more very important than our signboards or notice boards or anything like that. But iconography is giving with prior importance in that day itself, ancients itself, and during the design and the iconography have its own role to be mentioned. Some of the key aspects of iconography is like religious iconography is there, cultural iconography is there, and mythological iconography can also be said. Political and social iconographies are there. Evolving iconography is also there. Hope this is visible. So moving on to the summary, basically we can say like the town planning is a collective set of processes, ideas, and methods using science and technology to develop the available land for human habitation and other uses in most effective way. Architecture addresses the process of planning, designing, and constructing buildings for human use. Vastu Shastra is essentially art of correct setting whereby one can align the structure to Panchabuddhas and the rotational influence of the sun, moon, and other planets surrounding the earth. The planning and architecture aspects detailed on Vastu can be viewed using a eight-part classification of the concepts. These could be referred as the limbs of Vastu. Vastu Shastra discusses finer aspects in a variety individual buildings that make up a town or a village. Broadly, three categories of building can be identified: residential building, temple, and other public infrastructure. Temple is important element of Vastutantra as the building of temple is considered important by kings and wealthy individuals. The structure has a square form and Greek ground plans, tall towers, and rich and elaborate sculptures decorating the wall and towers. The Vastu text includes the components of a building, a type of temple designs, various structures, elements in the temple, iconography for the idols, and laying out of the temple complex using Vastu Purusha Mandala. Hope the session was all beneficial for you. Thanks for your patient listening, and I hope you can now ask me any doubts regarding this particular topic. Thank you.